Okay, boys and girls, we're on a field trip and we've come downtown to go to First Presbyterian Church in Tulsa. Wow. Well, this is the organist at First Presbyterian Church. This is Ron Pearson, and if his name sounds familiar, it's because he's my husband. And he's been the organist choir director here at First Presbyterian for how many years?
46.
46 as organist and 25
as music director.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, I have to ask you, this looks like a cockpit for a 747.
Yes, there's a lot to keep track of here. You have 4 keyboards, which are called manuals. You have a pedal board, which is another keyboard. So there are actually 5 total keyboards here, 4 for the hands, 1 for the feet, about 125 draw knobs, about 33 couplers, a lot of other devices.
Oh my gosh. So these keyboards right here, they're called manuals?
Yes, each keyboard is called a manual. So this is a 4-manual console. The big object here, sometimes called a key desk, but we call it a console. That's just a small part of the organ. It controls all of the pipes, but the console is indispensable. You can't play the organ without a console, but it's only about maybe 10% of the total hardware that's involved with an organ.
Okay, so those are called manuals, and these are called the pedal keyboard?
Yeah, pedal keyboard.
Oh, look, it's set up just like a keyboard. It's got black notes, except the white notes are brown.
Yeah. Well, we call them naturals and sharps.
Naturals and sharps, okay. Well, what are these white buttons on the side?
These are called draw knobs. Each one of these activates a rank of pipes, which is a set, complete set, that corresponds to one musical tone. For example, here's one that has the word flute on it, so it sounds like this. Here's one that says trumpet. These are the ones in the back. Trumpet en chamade, with the pipes pointed horizontally.
Do the manuals have names?
They do. They have not only names, but they have numbers. We use Roman numerals. So the bottom manual 1, Roman numeral 2, 3, and 4. This is called the choir manual, the great manual, the swell manual, the solo manual. Now the words great and swell are not used as adjectives, as in, gee, that was a great movie, or boy, that was a swell hamburger. It comes from a musical context. So great and swell have nothing to do with how wonderful they sound.
Ah, okay. Okay, well, you've got these little buttons here. And
These
what?
rocker tabs?
Yes, uh-huh.
Those are called couplers. C-O-U-P-L-E-R-S. They couple things together or connect. For example, each set of pipes, each manual has its own set of pipes that it corresponds to that manual. But if you want to transfer the function from one to another, you use a coupler. For example, this set of pipes over here, or these affected by these draw knobs, are played from the swell manual, number 3. If I want to transfer them to manual 1, I push on this coupler and we get this.
Oh, well, you got a whole bunch of numbered buttons there.
Those are called combination pistons, like the piston in a car engine, the same word, but a different meaning entirely. Combination pistons are used to activate a musical combination that has been preset and saved, like a Word document is saved in your computer. These saved documents of the musical kind With this many knobs to control various parts of the organ, you don't have time in the middle of a piece of music to quickly change them one at a time. So what these do, if your viewers will look over here at the draw knobs, they are now all in the off position. Now watch. Now they're all in the on position, or some of them are. And there's a different combination, there's a different combination, there's a different combination. And I can erase them all in one button over here. A button called GC, which means General Cancel.
Oh, so you can preset a number of stops, and then you can link that to one of the pistons.
Right.
Oh.
Exactly right. Then you mark that in your music so that when you get to that point in the music where you want a certain musical combination with a flute in the right hand and strings in the left hand, you save that to an assigned number, and then you mark it in the music, so when the moment comes, you activate that piston, and there it is.
Oh, wonderful. Well, it looks to me like you got some gas pedals on this thing.
Well, yeah, they're not gas pedals, so to speak. They are expression shoes, that's the correct term for them. What these do is to activate, you've already seen in the chambers, the large black shutters like Venetian blinds that open and close to make the sound appear to be louder or softer. Keep in mind the pipe plays at a steady volume, so the pipe itself does not change, but when you close the shutters, they sound softer to the listener. So if you'll watch down here, I'll demonstrate one of these expression shoes. Now the shades are open. Hold the cord and close the pedal, watch what happens. Now they're completely shut. I will open them. And they crescendo.
So you've got a preset number of stops that come out when you push in a piston, but what if your hands are, all your fingers are busy? What do you do?
You use your feet.
Your feet? How do you do that?
If you look down here, these brass buttons here are called toe studs. They do the same thing as the small white buttons under the manual keyboards. For example, here's what we get with General 1 thumb piston, General 1 toe stud, same thing.
Oh.
These duplicate the ones up here.
Okay.
So if your hands are busy, use your feet.
Wow.
This is weird. What? This is part of the organ? I don't get it.
Well, I said earlier that the organ is a wind instrument. It's defined as a wind instrument consisting of pipes which are playable from keyboards by the hands and the feet. So wind is defined as air under pressure. Wind goes into the pipes. Without air going into the pipes, they are silent. Nothing would happen. So the air has to be generated somewhere. There's air in the room, but it's not going into the pipes. So this is called a blower. This is a large fan device, very large electric motor, and a spinning blade fan like a hairdryer, except it does not heat the air. It's just room temperature air. It discharges the air through this duct. It then goes on up through the building into the chambers, and it's stored there, and we'll talk about that when we get there. It's captured and stored in reservoirs, which you'll see in a minute. So when this starts up, it sounds like a turbine or a jet engine firing up. So here we go.
I'll scoot back.
When the organ is being played, this is running always.
Oh, okay.
Well, where are we going now?
Well, now we're going into the north chamber. This is a large display of pipes here, which will be of interest to your viewers. Stop right here. If you look at that object down there, that one right there, that is a reservoir. A reservoir is a mechanical device that is part of the wind system. The right side is attached and not movable. This is movable, and depending on the demand placed on the reservoir, the springs here will push it shut, the air will push it apart, and so you get an equilibrium established and the wind pressure is steady. Pipes need steady wind pressure in order to play in tune with themselves. So that's what that's for, a reservoir. There are about 10 or 12 of these scattered throughout the organ.
Whoa, big wooden pipes.
Yes, those are pipes all the way from the floor to the ceiling. Each one of those is one musical note. They're very long, very heavy, and very, very low in pitch. The one on the far left is the bottom pitch, the lowest note of the organ, about 16 cycles per second, which is actually below the range of pitch discernment. So you hear a sort of rumbling effect, but you're not quite sure what note it is.
Wow, look at all these pipes. They go from real tall to very small. And they all look like they're in a row. Why is that?
Yes, each row, or in this case, 2 rows of the same set of pipes. A rank of pipes, R-A-N-K, or a set of pipes, is a complete set from top to bottom of the keyboard, so that every note of the 5-octave range makes the same quality of sound of the same color as in a flute, a trumpet, a clarinet, or whatever the desired effect is. So you see these 2 rows here, these are flute stops, flute pipes, all made of the same material and producing the same kind of tone.
So a small pipe is going to play a high pitch,
A very high note.
and the larger the pipe gets, the
The lower the note.
lower the note. Very good. Now you're holding 2 pipes here, but you know, you were going to tell me that they were both middle C, but they're shaped differently.
Yes, there are many things different about these 2 pipes. Number one, this is a stopped pipe. You see this cap on the top? It functions acoustically as a stopped pipe. This red felt is a sealer or a gasket to keep the cap from slipping. The cap is larger diameter than the body of the pipe. It slips over the pipe. And to tune the pipe, you move the cap up or down, but it has to be in a fixed position. So that's what the red felt is for. This is a tapered open metal pipe. See, there's no cap. There's a collar on it. This is for tuning purposes. They're almost the same length, but listen to the difference in the pitch.
So the one that's open sounds higher in pitch than the one that's got a cap on it.
Correct.
Why is that?
A stopped pipe sounds an octave lower than an open pipe of the same length. So this one is open, this is stopped. Because it's stopped, the air goes up, strikes the cap, speaks through the mouth back again, so the wavelength of the pitch is twice as long, and therefore it plays an octave lower.
Oh, okay. These pipes here, they look like they're bent in different directions.
Well, they're not actually bent, they're cut and resoldered. This is called a mitered pipe because of the mitering. Like building cabinets, you miter the corners of wood. The metal can be mitered. This is zinc, made of zinc. It's a very stiff metal. It will stand up on itself in large size pipes without crumpling or wrinkling or bending.
Why would you want to miter a pipe?
The pipe is mitered in order to fit into a vertical space that
So the shape of the pipe doesn't change the pitch.
Correct. Well, the only thing that matters is the interior air column of the pipe. Just like a French horn, which is coiled in a circle, and a trombone, which is coiled in a loop. If a French horn were stretched out in a straight line, it would be like 12 or 15 feet long. It would be unplayable because it would be too long. You couldn't use it. So the whole point of this is to get a pipe to fit into a space that is not as tall as the pipe would be if it were straight.
Oh. Well, these pipes have a big open space at the bottom there. Why is that?
That's the mouth of the pipe. These are very large wooden pipes played by the pedals, produce a very low pitch, and they're said to be a flue pipe, F-L-U-E. The flue of a pipe is a narrow slit or an opening here, a very narrow slot. The air coming from the bottom passes through the flue, strikes the upper lip, which is this part here, and that causes the air inside the pipe to oscillate and vibrate, and that's what produces the tone.
Up here. Whoa. So, I didn't realize there was an organ in the back. What do you call this?
This is called the antiphonal section of the organ. There are about 1,100 pipes here. You only see a few of them. The rest are behind the grills on both sides of the window. And this is used regularly on Sunday mornings when there are people sitting back here. The sound of the front organ is so far away that having the rear section in the balcony playing helps them a lot to get a sense of pitch and rhythm.
Oh, why are those pipes laying on the side like that?
Those are trumpet pipes. They go by the French title trompette en chamade, which means trumpet in call or a summons, like a herald trumpet. That's a fancy French word. But the pipes are placed in a more or less horizontal position. These are slightly elevated upward.
Well, I imagine that this is a shot that a lot of people don't see. Way up here, behind these trumpet pipes. So very cool. Okay, well, where are we now?
Well, we're in the south chamber of the main organ, and you will see here a computer, part of the computer control system. We call it a green box for obvious reasons. The signals from the console, the digital keystrokes from the console, come into this piece of equipment here. They translate them into electrical signals that go to the various wind chests where the pipes are located, and that's how the music is sorted out. It's done through a relay system here, or a junction system, I should say. The gray cables are new, the black cables are old, from the original installation 53 years ago.
What are those things?
Well, these look like electric mouse traps, but they're not. These are called pneumatic actions. These are mounted inside the wind chests by the hundreds, maybe 1,500 to 2,000 in the entire organ. These control the flow of air into the pipe so that when you play a certain note, the pipe that corresponds to that note is activated, or the valve sitting underneath it, which is attached to this device, opens up, allows pressurized air to go in to the pipe, so the right pipe speaks when it's supposed to. This is white leather, and it's on, off, on, off, on, off. They go very fast according to how rapidly the key is played.
Wow, look at this. Why are those pipes spotted?
That's called spotted metal. It's tin and lead mixed together in liquid form. It's a very good pipe metal. It's easy to shape and solder, and it produces a very nice musical tone. So spotted metal is common. The larger pipes are made of zinc because it's stiffer and more able to withstand the weight of a large pipe. There you see those black vertical shades or shutters that close and open from the console by operating an expression pedal. And what that does is to muffle, there's a good look there, it muffles the tone. Yes, the organ is the ultimate multitasking instrument, to use that word. We hear that word a lot, but you have 2 hands, 2 feet, or 10 fingers, 2 feet, and you actually have right toe, right heel, left toe, left heel. So there are 4 possibilities with your feet, 10 possibilities with your hands, 4 keyboards, 125 knobs, 36 couplers.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Pistons everywhere, turn your pages.
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot to keep track of. It's
That's for
very,
sure.
very challenging to play an organ of this size, or any size for that matter.
Yeah.
So we're going to conclude with a short piece of music that was written a long time ago, maybe 300 years ago, 250 years ago, by a composer you probably don't know, Jean-Joseph Mouret, French composer, M-O-U-R-E-T, a ceremonial grand piece called Rondeau, with the French spelling,